Alright, let's begin. Hello everybody, welcome back to my series of Ninjago episode review streams. In today's stream we are taking a look at episode 92 of Ninjago entitled Saving Faith. This is the 8th episode of season 9, and this is highly regarded as one of Ninjago's best episodes, so this is going to be a lot of fun to review and talk about. In terms of our schedule, however, if you are just joining us for the first time, welcome. This is what we do here. We stream Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, with an episode review and a Q&A. We will update this day by day. If there's ever a day where I can't stream, I will let you guys know via my community tab. In terms of what the drink is today, we just have ourselves some more water. It's important to stay hydrated. Today's video is brought to you by water. Drink it to live. Alright, let's get to it. So, this episode, I'm excited to review. A lot of good stuff going on in this episode. Rewatched it last night in preparation for this stream. And usually what we do is we let the episode images run in the background as we break down the plot, the good, the bad, and then finally we will give the episode a score out of 10. So why not just not waste any more time and just get right into this here. I've got my Sharpie here just in case I want to jot down any other notes. All right, let's begin. In terms of the plot, the episode begins basically where the last episode left off, with Mistake being outed as the fake Harumi and the real Harumi trying to warn Garmadon of what the ninja's plans are, or what the resistance plans are, rather. Basically what happens though, Mistake reveals her true Oni form, and her Oni form looks pretty sick. It's kind of like a Garmadon-esque design, which is important to note. We'll see more Oni later on in this Oni trilogy, but she decides to attack Garmadon, and basically during the fight, she gives Skylar an opening to steal Garmadon's power. So at one point in time, Skylar touches Garmadon, manages to escape, while Mistake continues to fight off Garmadon. She is eventually captured, and we will find out what happened to her later on. But the battle itself was pretty fun. Very quick, but actually very enjoyable to watch. And Skylar did get away with Garmadon's power, or at least a borrowed sample of Garmadon's power. But yeah, Mistake was very cool in this battle. Meanwhile, back in the first realm, the ninja actually come across Faith, who's been buried, and the ninja presume that Faith was just kind of buried there by the Iron Baron in order to be finished off by the elements, the natural elements that exist within this first realm, and the ninja decide to kind of go over there and check it out. They free Faith, and she informs them that it was a trap, and sure enough, it was a trap. So, yay. They've all been captured by the Iron Baron, and they did not save Faith after all. So, the ninja are basically put up on various electrical poles and being tortured by laughing. That's the Iron Baron's way of torturing people. But they stay positive. Wu kind of discusses how they can stay positive during this moment, and the ninja are just, you know what? We just gotta stay positive whenever works. And I thought that was super cool. During the process of all them being electrocuted, however, Master Wu decides to have a little bit of a flashback in which he actually regains all of his memories. Somehow the electrical currents kind of triggered it, or somehow his memories were triggered, and he eventually does obtain all of his memories back and becomes Master Wu once again, which is awesome. He breaks off the pole and manages to grow a goatee in the process. Very cool. And he also gets a hat and a staff, very similar to the Master Wu that we all know and love. I really enjoyed this moment. It's probably one of Ninjago's best moments when you take a look at the entirety of this season alone. I feel like this is one of the highlights of season 9. But Master Wu is back, the ninja rejoice, and honestly, he decides to fight off the rest of the Iron Baron, his army basically. He decides to take on some of the dragon hunters, and Iron Baron realizes that this probably isn't going to end well for him, so he proposes a deal to the new Master Wu. He says, hey, you know where the dragon armor is. How about if you take me there, I'll let the ninja free and they can go home. Master Wu thinks about it for a second, decides, you know what, we don't have any other choice, let's go ahead and do this. So he decides to accept the Iron Baron's offer and sets out to show him where the dragon armor is, much to the dismay of the ninja. But I really enjoyed that scene though. I really loved Master Wu coming back and being in his element. I enjoyed the hat and the staff as well. That's very much like, the cherry on top of the cake. It's awesome. I love it quite a bit. So yeah, Master Wu's back, and he is currently taking the Iron Baron to the dragon armor, and that's where the first realm story kind of ends in this episode. So I thought that was cool. I thought the Master Wu comeback was awesome. Excuse me while I take a sip of my water. Yeah, I imagine that Wu pretty much already knew that Iron Baron would deceive him, but like he said, they really didn't have any other choice. They'll figure it out eventually. But no, I enjoyed Master Wu's comeback. In terms of the Ninjago stuff, Skylar manages to get back to the Resistance and informs the ninja that she has the power, but Mistake was unfortunately killed, which we did not see. Obviously, they're not going to show us Mistake dying, but we do have word that Mistake has been killed, so rest in peace, Mistake. You will be missed. And basically, she has the power now. So the new plan with Skylar's powers can be activated here. They decide to go up to the top of the roof and try to control the Oni Titan using Skylar's new borrowed power from Garmadon, and it doesn't work right away. Garmadon still has some type of control over the Oni Titan, but eventually Skylar does kind of maintain control, and she actually manages to get a hold of the Oni Titan. With Skylar now controlling the Oni Titan, she uses it to fight off some Sons of Garmadon members, including Ultraviolet, which she promptly tosses away over the city, and she basically crushes Kilo and breaks his Oni mask, which is awesome, you know? The Oni masks don't really do much this season, but I'm glad that something's actually, happening to them. And the Oni Titan is now under Skylar's full control, so that's fun. Garmadon tries to fight back with her, and there's a little bit of a clash between who controls the Oni Titan. In the process, Harumi is trapped in some type of building, and she tries to get out. Stuff's falling apart, the building's falling apart because of the Oni Titan, and she sees a family in a very much like in the same scenario that her family was in back during the Great Devourer's rampage. And she decides, you know what, we're not going to create another version of myself, and she decides to help the family escape, which is awesome and admirable of Harumi. She helps the family escape successfully, but she gets left behind in the building. With nowhere to go, she decides to run up on top the roof of the building and witnesses what's going on. The building itself is falling, the Oni Titan is struggling, Skylar and Garmadon are both doing their best to control the Oni Titan, and eventually Skylar manages to lose control. And Harumi is feeling the effects of that. The building falls, she and Lloyd look at each other, one last little look of redemption or whatever, and the building kind of crashes on top of her, promptly killing Harumi, to which Garmadon is not happy. So this is where Harumi bites the bullet and Harumi perishes, and it is a very good scene, I will say. It's awesome. It's very cool. It's very cool how Harumi redeemed herself here before she actually died. That was awesome. I'm a firm believer in Harumi being redeemed. So I feel like at this point in time, she was fine. She's a good character now. But yeah, Garmadon's not happy. He is very much upset at this and decides to use the Oni Titan once again to destroy not only the ninja, the resistance, but also Ninjago City. He tells Lloyd, hey, if you want the city, you can have it in ruins, and begins his conquest. And Skylar is not in good shape either. Garmadon's power was a little too much for her, and she is now not really in a coma as much as she is kind of unconscious, but we'll talk more about that in the next couple of episodes here. But regardless, that's where the episode comes to a close, with Garmadon fully raging out with the Oni Titan and Skylar in critical condition after Harumi was killed by the building. So that's basically where the episode ends. In terms of the plot, this is a very straightforward plot. There's not a whole lot going on. There's just a couple of main events that transpire over the course of the episode, which totally isn't a bad thing. The episode is not that busy, but I think it benefits because we can actually tackle this, we can tackle what's going on here. How did a Hands of Time picture get in there? Is there a Hands of Time picture in this slide? I'm not sure. If it is, it's from Wu's Flashback. That's probably what you're seeing. So yeah, in terms of good stuff and bad stuff, let's go ahead and talk about that. So, in terms of good, I really enjoyed Master Wu's, I guess, return. His full return after, being electrocuted by the Iron Baron's pulls. He comes back, regains all of his memories, and comes back as Master Wu. Granted, he still is in his teenage form, if you want to call it that, except he does have some facial hair now, so that's kind of cool. But he has all the memories and all the wisdom of Master Wu once again. The only thing that's not the same about him is that his body still needs to catch up to his normal body. You know what I'm saying? He needs to still regain that body of Master Wu, but all the mind stuff is there. He has all of his memories, all of his wisdom. It's all still there. Granted, it's coming back in very small chunks, but it's all there for the most part. I really enjoyed his return, though. He jumps off the pole and immediately goes into awesome mode. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Master Wu's battle with some of the Iron Baron's army, if you will. Alden 499, thank you very much. I hope if Harumi is still alive later in the season along with Mr. E. Um, Also, I ship Wuick's faith. Long live the brown ninja. If Harumi would still be alive, I mean, they would have probably have shown it. But if she were to come back nowadays, she probably would have been redeemed. Yeah, Wu and Faith are pretty good together. I ship young Wu and Faith. Not sure about old Wu and Faith. And in terms of Long Live the Brown Ninja, I don't know about that. Gonna have to disagree with you there. But thank you for the $4.99, Alden. You are awesome. Thank you very much. So, going back to some of the other good stuff, again, with Iron Baron, he kind of creates a deal with Master Wu, and yeah, he does sound very sketchy. He is very much 100% going to be deceiving Wu at some point during this. But as Master Wu said, really doesn't have any other choice here, and the ninja pretty much, don't question him, which they've learned to do properly. So, Master Wu has a plan here. He'll figure something out. We just have to wait and see what the next episodes bring. In terms of other good stuff, I enjoyed the Oni and I guess I enjoyed the Oni fight at the beginning of this episode, if you can call it that, with Oni Mistake facing off against somewhat Oni Garmadon. I thought that fight was pretty cool. Like I said in the actual plot breakdown, the fight itself doesn't last for all that long, but it still is a pretty cool fight. We get to see a full-blooded Oni in the form of Mistake, and she looks awesome. Like I said, the Oni pretty much have a resemblance to Garmadon in that regard, in terms of how they look, but I think the Oni, like a full-blooded Oni like Mistake, looks amazing. We'll see more Oni in March of the Oni, but yeah, Mistake revealing her true form here is quite spectacular, and she actually is very powerful as well. I enjoyed her trying to actually battle Garmadon. It's a pretty interesting fight. I really do enjoy that quite a bit. Unfortunately, though, Mistake was killed off screen, which some people could say is like a bad thing about this episode, that we don't see Mistake die, but to be honest, the season's already pretty dark as it is. I don't think they need to show a death. They can imply it and we can believe it, considering how much else has been going on throughout this season. And also we see Harumi kind of die towards the end of the episode as well, which kind of makes up for Mistake's death not being shown, but I don't think Mistake's death not being shown is a bad thing. I think it's understandable. But Mistake does perish, which of course, rest in peace, Mistake. You will be missed. And at least with Mistake, they actually had some type of, good good way to let her go out. You know what I'm saying? No, they wouldn't show Mistake dying. That's what I'm saying. It's obvious that they weren't going to show it, and that's not a bad thing. So, Mistake still went out in a very good manner. Rest in spaghetti. Never forgetty. In terms of other things, I really enjoyed Skylar controlling Garmadon's powers, in turn the Oni Titan. That's awesome. I love seeing Skylar use her powers like that. Ultimately, it ends up being too much for Skylar to handle, and she kind of loses control and kind of goes into like a really weird Garmadon coma thing at the end of the episode, which is unfortunate. But I really liked her controlling the Oni Titan. That was a lot of fun. I also enjoyed Harumi's redemption scene. Like I said, it's a very emotional scene for Harumi, and she actually makes this look with Lloyd right before she dies, which they kind of recognize in each other what's going on. Lloyd recognizes that Harumi did something good, and that's why she's dying here. She's dying not going down as a villain, but going down as a hero, which I think is cool for Harumi. Granted, she did a lot of other things in the season and the season prior to this that really aren't so great, but ultimately she redeemed herself right at the very end of her existence until she was trampled by a building. So, like Mistake, Harumi also perished, and yeah, it's kind of an emotional scene. People go back and forth on the scene whether or not Harumi is dead or not, because they didn't show Harumi's body or anything like that. And the classic rule in film and television is if you don't see a body, they're not confirmed dead. But Harumi, I think we can see dying. I mean, a building fell on her. I think she's dead, but you can technically see Mistake die. Garmadon beats her with a staff, which is very dark. Ooh, yeah. um, yeah, I feel bad for Mistake. But with Harumi, yeah, I thought the scene was very good with her perishing. She redeemed herself and promptly died. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Mistake is dead. We haven't seen her around anymore, so I think it's safe to say that she's dead at this current point in time. In terms of one last thing that I want to talk about, the actual scale of this episode is quite impressive, despite having not a lot of stuff going on. With this plot, like I said, it's very straightforward, very simple, but you get a chance to build on those certain character moments. Like I said, with Master Wu coming back, with Harumi being redeemed, you get a chance to build up upon that. This episode is kind of living proof that you don't need a whole lot going on in an episode for it to be good. You can just focus on those good character traits and call it good from there, because ultimately this episode was pretty good. In terms of bad stuff, there's not a whole lot that I can say. If I had to say anything, if I had to nitpick something, it's like, oh, they're not giving us confirmations of these characters' deaths in the episode. Obviously, we've heard confirmations afterwards from various showrunners and writers, and we can very much confirm that these characters are dead. But you're always going to get those people that are going to be like, well, they didn't show the bodies, so is she actually dead? Yes, she's dead. But I'm not going to take off any points for that. That's if only I can point out something to nitpick about. But ultimately, this episode is very good, quite perfect, if I must say so myself. So in terms of a score, I think you guys already know, it's getting a 10. As you can see in my original score, I gave it a 9.5. So took off half a point for the not showing the deaths thing, and I realize now that since we've gotten confirmed information, we can't really, you know, we can't really, take off points for all that. So 10 out of 10 from me. Nothing really too bad about that. Ruiz Racas, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, with a donation. Can you please say Larumi ain't a bad ship? It's not. If Harumi would come back nowadays, I feel like she and Lloyd could totally work out. So, yeah, I don't think it's a bad ship, but thank you for the donation. Yeah, in terms of this episode, your guys' scores, bunch of 10s. A couple of other scores in there. I see a 7 and a 9.5, which is totally okay. 50 out of 50, Harumi is dead. Yeah, Harumi is dead. Even though we don't see a body, it's been confirmed, yes, Harumi's dead, Mistake's dead. At the time, we didn't really have that information at the time that I first reviewed this episode, so I took off points for that because of uncertainty, but now that we actually have a confirmation, I think it's safe to say that this episode deserves a 10, at least according to my own opinion. You guys are free to do whatever. Yeah, so we can't show bodies, but we can show dead dragons up on poles and being turned into chairs. It's kind of an inconsistency there. I think they could have showed like feet or something, but it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it's a very cool episode. Lots of you guys are giving it a 10. Very fantastic episode in my opinion. Chef's kiss, absolutely. This episode's probably the best of season 9 so far. Let's be real. I don't really remember what's up with the last couple of episodes, but I will watch those soon enough here. Ruiz, once again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, with another donation. Because I ship it, have money, good sir. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't think that Larumi is a bad ship nowadays. I feel like Lloyd still has a lot of issues with Harumi, like mentally. He's not over her just yet. But I feel like if Harumi would have survived, let's say if Harumi would have, theoretically survived the fall here, I think she and Lloyd could have worked it out. Granted, Harumi might be in prison for a while, might be in therapy for a while, but if she got out, then yeah, I feel like they could totally work things out. I ship it. Though I do kind of ship Lloyd with Akita just a little bit more. But Lloyd and Harumi, definitely not a bad ship. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap things up here. That's been my review of Saving Faith. And tomorrow it's Thursday today, so tomorrow is going to be the last stream of the week. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Lessons for a Master, which is the 9th episode of season 9. So we'll talk about that tomorrow, and then next week we will conclude season 9 and then continue with March of the Oni, and then that's where we will end the streams. So in terms of the review, that's going to about wrap it up. Thanks a lot for tuning into this review. In terms of the stream, we still got a little bit more time because of Q&A stuffs, and I feel like what we should do is do like a random number generator like we did yesterday at the start, and then we can take chat suggestions for the other ones afterwards. But let's see what we got here. We have come on, 9. So we'll run season 8 and 9 pictures because they're in the same category. But yeah, really enjoyable episode today. I was excited to talk about this one. Tonight I'm going to be checking out Lessons for a Master. So let's go ahead and get some questions in the chat. I'm going to take a sip of my water really quick because my mouth is quite dry. But what do you guys got for me? In terms of announcements, I got nothing. So whatever you guys want to talk about will be good. What was the score? We gave it a 10. Do I have a favorite dragon hunter? I think Faith is a really cool character. Faith is awesome. In terms of other dragon hunters, I kind of like Jet Jack just because of I like her jetpack. I like her design. She's a pretty cool character. Does this rewatch make you like Iron Baron any less or more? He doesn't bother me as much now as he did back in the day when I watched season 9. Like the rewatch definitely made me appreciate the Iron Baron a little bit more, so much so that I actually ordered his figure off of eBay last night. Because I still don't have the Iron Baron figure, and someone was selling it for cheap on eBay. So I'm like, yeah, I'll buy the figure now. Iron Baron's kind of cool. So he's not that bad of a villain. He's not as bad as what I was remembering, but I don't think he's still perfect or anything like that. He's definitely not as good as someone like Garmadon or Harumi, but he's still good to an extent. I will say I'm kind of liking him a little bit more this time. Whereas roommate, I think she's still asleep. I haven't seen her yet this morning, so she's probably still asleep. Where does Harumi fall on my list of favorite villains? Probably somewhere in the upper middle, Like if you have the middle of all the villains, if you line up all the villains in the middle, probably a little bit more towards the top would be Harumi, like the top middle, if that makes sense. There are villains that I like more than Harumi, but there are definitely villains that I think are not as good as Harumi. So, for example, Iron Baron. Yeah, there are a couple of new season 15 pictures floating around. There's like one with Prince Kalmar, and then there's another one with Cole and Jay. They're not like super informative pictures or anything like that. They're just kind of images that pertain to season 15. Like some of them, like Jay and Cole are in their season 15 outfits in these images, but you know, it is what it is. I'll probably do a video on that later, going up tomorrow perhaps. How do I feel about a Harumi redemption arc? I think that'd be awesome. Like, if Harumi would have survived, she could totally have gone through a redemption arc. Like, this episode was kind of like the start of her redemption. So, is My Hero Academia an inappropriate show? I wouldn't say that. It's kind of like Ninjago, but a little bit more adult, if that makes sense. Like, there's blood, there's a little bit of a, whatchamacallit, like, not so child-friendly stuff going on with some of the characters, if you catch my drift, but ultimately it's kind of like Ninjago, but a little bit more adult. A lot of the same principles are still there. Will Ninjago end in 2025? Probably not. It's probably going to go on for a while. Yeah, like Momo Yaoyorozu. Ooh. she's a pretty good character, Yeah, rest in peace, Deku's arms. At least he finally remembered that he had legs, He's like, if my power breaks my arms, I can just use my legs. What? It's like, yeah, you got legs, man. Use your legs. That being said, we did get a little bit more information for the new My Hero movie this morning, and it looks awesome, so I can't wait for that. But yeah, I think a lot of Ninjago fans also like My Hero Academia just because they're kind of similar in that way. Like, My Hero is basically like the same concepts of Ninjago, but like I said, a little bit more mature, a little bit more adult. So I feel like that's why a lot of Ninjago fans cross over with My Hero. Whereas Waffle, I don't know where Waffle is. I haven't seen her this morning either, which is strange because usually I see Waffle right away when I wake up because she's like right in my face. Yeah, My Hero still takes after the books, the manga. Yeah, they've been very faithful so far. And the manga's amazing right now, so we're probably not going to see the stuff going on in the manga in the show for at least another couple of years, but, you know. Which show I like better, Ninjago or My Hero? Ninjago is very much nostalgic to me. I do think that My Hero has like a better story and a better world than Ninjago, but Ninjago is still very, very nostalgic, very important place in my heart. My Hero, though, I think does a better job at expressing the world, I think they both have their perks. Do I have the Dragon Pit set? I do not. Season 9, I didn't really get a whole lot of sets for. I kind of skipped out on a lot of Season 9 sets. I think the only one I got was the Throne Room Showdown and one of the Dragon Flyers, and I think that's it. I honestly didn't get a lot of Season 9 sets. So, um, what would I say to the people that think Ninjago's for kids? Well, Lego's for everybody by default. Like, Lego doesn't really have like a strict demographic. Like, they make sets for all ages. They're making 18 plus sets now too. So, like, Lego's obviously for everybody. Why can't Ninjago be the same? What was my first phone ever? My first phone was an iPhone 5 something, I think. So, I didn't get a phone until I was like maybe 16. I didn't really have a need for a phone. Let's see. Do you think it should be another Day of the Departed having Harumi another redemption arc. Oh, if they did like another Day of the Departed, would Harumi be in there? I think they could do that. If they had like another Day of the Departed, they could do like a similar thing with what they did with Morrow in the original Day of the Departed, where you kind of think that he's going to be a bad guy, but then he turns his back on the bad guys and helps out Wu. I think that could happen if they did another one with Harumi. Like Harumi could come back and do the same thing. I think that would work out. I just don't think they'd do another Day of the Departed, if we're being honest. Do I play Among Us? I do not. Yeah, if the first Spinjitzu Master became a villain, that'd be cool. Like if he was revealed to be a bad guy this whole time, that'd be something. That would certainly be like a big twist to Ninjago. A lot of people would be messed up by that, not only in terms of the fans, but in terms of the world. You know? Like the world of Ninjago has spent eons worshipping this first Spinjitzu Master, and then come to find out he's a bad guy. That would shake up a lot of Ninjago. Two Heroes or Heroes Rising. I liked Heroes Rising a lot more, but that's just me. The new movie looks fun though. I can't wait to watch it. Favorite Lego set that I've gotten, what set would I recommend? My favorite Lego set is probably the Ninjago movie Bounty. I think that one's amazing. In terms of sets that I would recommend getting, if you guys can get it, I'd recommend getting the City Gardens. I know it's kind of like a really expensive set, but if you guys can get it, I'd recommend it. It's a pretty good monumental thing for Ninjago fans for the 10th anniversary, so I think it's awesome. But otherwise, if you want like a cheaper option for like a recommendation, get the Jungle Dragon, one of the best dragons in recent Ninjago history. Jungle Dragon's awesome. Have I gotten any Marvel Lego sets? I got some back when Age of Ultron was coming out, but I was never super big into it. I think I just got it one day because I was like, well, let's try a Marvel set, see how it goes. You know, I like Marvel. Let's try one of the sets. I know that they have like a bunch of Avengers Endgame sets coming out still. Like they're making a couple more of them to come out later on this year, which I'm looking forward to. Um, Ultimately, though, I'm not sure if I'm going to get them or not. Just kind of depends on what they look like and how much interest I have. Season 5 pictures, certainly. And if Cole and Nia fought over Jay, that'd be interesting. It'd be like a little bit of a reversal from what happened in season 3. Do I think we'll see Cyrus Borg in season 15? I think we will at one point. I imagine that the fight will eventually lead to Ninjago City in some capacity, and because of that, we'll probably see Cyrus Borg. I think it'd be awesome to have him back. Accidentally dropped a Lego set while playing with it? I have not. I've been lucky. Moving the city gardens from one place to the next is quite nerve-wracking because that thing is huge and it's very, very wobbly. And, you know, I'd recommend not moving it a lot. But, you know. Favorite moment from Heroes Rising? I gotta go with the ending, man. The bit where Deku's like, "Oh, here, Bakugo, have some of my power," and then they use it together. It's not canon at all. It's not applicable to the overall show or the manga, but it is quite cool. It's quite cool to see that. So, I believe in waffle supremacy. Same here. Yeah, you can take the gardens apart. It does come out in individual sections, and I recommend that. Ultimately, with me though, I just decided to go gung ho and just move the entire thing all at once. But taking it apart would be a smarter option. But yeah, I find that taking it apart sometimes is frustrating to put it back together, so it's just kind of easier for me to move it. But even that is nerve-wracking in and of itself. So either way, I'd recommend being careful. If that thing falls, it's going to be quite the disaster. So. Favorite flashback? I really enjoy the Cole flashback during Sons of Garmadon when he first meets Wu. I liked that because it's very applicable to like season 13 stuff. So I like that one. If Wilfilm came back, would I miss Wildbrain? Yeah, to an extent I would. Like Wildbrain is very much like, you know, very interesting thing. You know, it's a very interesting studio that makes Ninjago. They do some interesting choices, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I'd miss them. You know, but if Wilfilm came back, I wouldn't complain. Let's just leave it at that, you know. I wouldn't I wouldn't hate it, but I would still kind of miss Wildbrain to an extent. Has someone ever broken one of my Lego sets? Not really. I've been kind of lucky with all that kind of stuff. Never really had anything fall or break. If I did, it's been like a minor thing, like the jungle chopper bike, for example, fell off the desk the other day because Waffle knocked it over trying to eat it, and you know, it was fine. The top just kind of fell off of it, so I just put it back, and that's about it. It really didn't break all that much. So, do I watch Cobra Kai? I do not. What if the Hegman brothers wrote the Ninjago movie? I'm sure it would be a lot better, and I'm sure a lot of people would like it a lot better. Um, I wish WildBrain made the characters move like they did with Wilfilm. Yeah, I do think that the animation at WildBrain to an extent is a lot more fluid, but I get what you're going for. I get what you're saying. What are we doing after Season 9 streams? We're going to be doing the 4 episodes of March of the Oni and then calling it quits from there. I decided that we're just going to be, you know what, finishing up the Oni trilogy, and then we're going to wrap it up. So if all goes to plan, the streams will be done, at least in terms of these episode review streams. They'll be done by the end of next week, if everything goes to plan, of course. Yeah, I think there's a little bit too much like elastic properties going on with the WildBrain characters. That's a good question to point out, but ultimately, I think it works in motion. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks better when the ninja are actually moving and fighting. But if you pause the episode at any point, you're gonna see some wacky proportions. So, would Kai have Charizard? I think absolutely. If Kai were to have a Pokemon, I think Charizard would be his go-to. Fire Dragon, yeah, that's right up Kai's alley. Um, yeah, we're probably not gonna review season 11 again. That's quite the commitment. 30 episodes. They are shorter, so theoretically, if we did do like a season 11 reviews, maybe we could do 2 episodes in one stream, but I don't know about that. I think we're gonna wrap things up after season 10 and work on a different thing for these streams. Yeah, in terms of like Nia theories, I don't think theories can lie to people. You can have a theory that's wrong, but you know, if somebody makes a theory, they're not lying. They're making a theory. I think that's kind of funny. Opinion on Attack on Titan. I don't really have an opinion because I haven't watched it or read it. So the only thing I know about Attack on Titan is that there's a guy named Kenny, and he's obviously my favorite character already just because his name's Kenny. So don't know anything about him, don't know anything about the show. I just know that there's a guy named Kenny, and he's awesome. So, season 7 pictures? Sure. We can jump over to Hands They Time. So, let's see. Favorite Oni trilogy character. Like kind of like new character that they added in the Oni trilogy because I kind of like Mistake's Oni form. I know Mistake was a thing before the Oni trilogy, but Mistake really came into her own with the Oni trilogy. So maybe Mistake. Otherwise, if you want like a specific character that exists only within the Oni trilogy, well, I'd say, you know, Harumi's kind of cool. The Omega's kind of cool to an extent, but the Omega, I can't really understand him. I need subtitles. Would I do a stream where I give my updated review on season 11 as a whole? That's interesting. That's an interesting idea. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do yet, but that is an interesting idea. Like if I just reviewed season 11 as an entirety for a stream. That's interesting to think about. I'll keep that in mind. Do I play any shooting games like COD? Not so much. I used to play COD a lot back in the day, but not so much these days. I used to play a lot of Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 3 and whatnot, but you know, I grew out of that kind of stuff. Review Boo's tease. Ooh, I don't want to go back through that rabbit hole. Probably not going to be doing that. Review all seasons as entities. Maybe. Review all the seasons as an entire thing. Yeah. I don't know if I want to do that or not. We'll see what happens. Like, I have ideas for streams and whatnot, but I kind of also want to take a break with streams, you know what I'm saying? So, we'll see what happens. If it works out, it works out. We'll figure it out. But we still got the rest of this week and all of next week with these normal streams, so. What do I think about Shadow of Ronin? Not very good. I've seen some gameplay footage of it. Haven't played it myself, but I've seen like some footage where it's like the cutscenes and whatnot. Doesn't really seem all that great to me. and it's not really canon, so I'm not really, you know, interested in playing it. Will I do a 10-hour stream? We did that for the 10th anniversary. We ran a 10-hour stream. If you find the archived footage right now, it maybe looks more like a 7.5-hour long stream. But I promise you, we did the full 10 hours. Those of you guys that were there can attest to that. We did the full 10 hours. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. At the end of it, my voice was very strained though, so that was like the only bad thing, you know. Only bad thing was my voice was very, very messed up towards the end of it, but it was a lot of fun overall. New Year's stream? Maybe we could do that. I imagine we'll still stream occasionally, you know? Like, we'll still stream. I want to make a different idea for streams. I just want to take a break first, you know? I'm not sure what I want to do just yet. But yeah, streaming on holidays probably isn't a bad idea. Yeah, Lego took down like the first like 2.5 hours because of copyright. Yet people can upload full-on episodes of season 14 and not get anything bad happen to them. But hey, you know, I'm not bitter or anything like that. Yeah, I'm thinking about streaming the video game. Like I have Twitch, that kind of stuff. So maybe I'll do that. Who's to say? I slowed secretly Gohan from DBZ. Yes. Could do a waffle cam for 24 hours. That'd be fun. Have I tried to get the first 3 hours back? Yeah, I tried my best. The first 3 hours just do not exist according to YouTube. The stream does not exist. The first 3 hours do not exist. Just no memory of them. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get them back. But, you know, it was still a lot of fun, and the memories are still there for those of you guys that were there to see it. So, you know, I'm not super, like, you know, adamant about getting it back to, like, prove that I streamed for 10 hours or whatever, because ultimately we did. So, sue Lego. I don't know about that. I don't want to, like, file a lawsuit because that means, you know, that means very expensive, expenses, if you will. But I just think it's kind of funny. I just think it's kind of funny that the stream gets taken down for me, yet other people can upload this kind of stuff. I don't know. It just kind of seems a little funny, little suspicious, if you get what I'm saying. Opinions on Jay as a character. Jay's cool. No real problems with Jay. Jay was my favorite ninja when the pilots first aired. So, season 6, sure. We can do season 6. There we go. Yeah, we didn't get a copyright strike for that stream. We just got like a formal warning, you know? So if I had a copyright strike for it, I think I wouldn't be able to upload for like a week. So I think that's like the new standard now. If you get a copyright strike, you're not able to upload for a week. You're not able to live stream for a fair bit. So if I ever like go dark for a week, it's because I got a copyright strike on something stupid. So, you know. I feel like it's because we were watching an episode on there. Season 12 picks soon. Yeah, we can run those in a couple of minutes. I will write that down for a cue. Let's see. What else do we got? Would I like to see a villain team up to defeat the ninja? Ooh, that'd be fun. That'd kind of be like Dave the Departed, except maybe they could be a little bit more, you know, competent, and maybe they could actually be good with each other. That'd be fun. I feel like if the villains teamed up and took down like ninjas individually with Day of the Departed, you know, I think they would be a lot more successful. Like, say for example, if they all went after Kai and Nia, I feel like they could, you know, be successful in that regard. Ultimately, though, that's not what the plot wanted. The villains were supposed to take down the ninja individually to take their spot in the living world, which is, you know, acceptable. But I feel like they would totally win if they were to team up and take down the ninja one by one. Nauticon teaming up with the Time Twins and Klaus. Yeah, the ninja better watch out if that happens. They're not going to be in for a good time. It'd be cool, yeah, if we got a Skylar minifigure with it was pink or purple eyes. I thought they were purple. Could be pink. Corrupted by Garmadon's powers. Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. That's what they should have done for the Skylar minifigure for Hunted. The thing has like dual-sided faces, so what you could have done is you could have put like one of them having like those corrupted eyes and call it good from there. That would have been a lot better. Not a Kalmar team up? Maybe. I'm excited to see what Prince Kalmar is all about. Asphira returns in season 15. Ugh, I don't know about that. I hope she doesn't. Yeah, Lego's live streaming. Wait, they're live streaming season 5, but it's really season 3 episodes? Really? That's funny. I saw it pop up in my recommended that it's like, oh, we're streaming season 5. I didn't click on it though because I don't want to watch season 5 right now, but if they're actually not streaming season 5, that's kind of funny. Thoughts on Pythor? Pythor's cool. I hope he comes back eventually. I liked him in season 3, I think, a lot more than any other season he's been in. I think in season 3 he was awesome. How much space do I have on my computer? A fair amount of space. I also have an external hard drive that is a couple terabytes, so I think I'm good for storage. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures on my computer, mainly for like videos and such. But you know, let's see. What if Harumi was not evil? I think that she would be. If Harumi wasn't evil, I feel like she and Lloyd would work out totally, and maybe she'd join the team. Who's to say? What's taking the thumbnail video so long? More stuff keeps coming out in terms of Ninjago news, and there's other stuff that I want to make more, so it'll come out eventually. It's just a matter of, if news stops coming out for Ninjago, and if, I eventually get to it. I'm going down the list of stuff that I want to talk about. So, Skull Sorcerer and Omega versus Garmadon and Unagami, who would win? Probably Garmadon and Unagami. I'm getting tired of the whole misunderstood good guys as the villain thing. We've seen that for a few seasons now, like especially with season 14, you could definitely say that. For Prime Empire, you could argue that Unagami is kind of a misunderstood villain. Ultimately, though, yeah, I think we should probably step away from that. I want to see more villains like the Skull Sorcerer, And I think that Prince Kalmar in season 15 might be similar to the Skull Sorcerer. There's a video of mine going up today where I kind of talk about that kind of stuff. Or it might already be out. I don't know. Can't remember. Yeah, Harumi Is Dead. She is kind of similar to Morrow in that regard. There's been like a lot of people that ship Morrow and Harumi, which I could totally see, but they've never really interacted with each other before, unless they're like together in the departed realm or whatever. That could be funny. Where would I put season 14 in my ranking? Probably above Hands of Time, maybe. They're kind of on par with me, but I'd say I'd like the island just a little bit more than Hands of Time. Just my opinion. Where's the waffle picture? Here, I tell you what, we'll show the waffle image and then we'll jump to Prime Empire. So there's the waffle, and here's the Prime Empire. All right, good stuffs. Could I please not spoil season 15 descriptions? I mean, they're kind of out there already. I'm not sure if they're considered spoilers because they're out there and they exist, but if you want to avoid spoilers, I'd recommend probably not watching some of the season 15 coverage videos. I wouldn't really consider the descriptions to be spoilers, but that's just me. Let's see. Thoughts on someone in 6 having wind powers passed on after Morrow's death? Could be. I feel like the wind power definitely found a different host to some degree, but I'm not sure who that would be, if it would be somebody in Styx or not. It was the mailman all along? Absolutely. Yeah, I'd say season 14 and season 12 are kind of similar, I guess, or I guess kind of on par with one another, but ultimately I think that Prime Empire is just a little bit better than the island. Yeah, I'm still not holding my breath that it's coming out in April. I'm going to be filming a video about that later on today. I enjoyed the Prime Empire suits. Yeah, the Digi suits, I definitely don't hate them. I know when they came out, like when they were first being leaked out, a lot of people really did not like them. And I don't blame people. Like right at first, they look very strange when you compare them to other Ninjago suits, but in the context of Prime Empire, they make sense, Why is Ninjago stuck with snake villains? Well, Serpentine are a very important part of Ninjago in terms of population, and I'd argue that the Serpentine and the humans were very much equal back in the day. Like there's an equal population of humans, equal population of Serpentine. So if you take that into account, there would be a lot more snake villains as opposed to other villains. So I don't know, just my opinion on that. I feel like snake villains are getting a little too repetitive, but it kind of does make sense when you kind of look at it in the perspective of the Ninjago world. So that's just my thoughts about that. Yeah, we can see Nia doing red spinjitzu at the end of season 4's intro. That's also not considered canon. The first spinjitzu that she did was in Day of the Departed, I think, and that one's confirmed to be like the first canon appearance of Nia doing spinjitzu. Not her first like ever instance using spinjitzu within the universe, but the first time that we saw it where it actually counted. So, unless I'm missing something. Will I be doing more shorts? Yeah, I kind of want to do a little bit more of these shorts because they're fun to make, they're easy to make, they're very simple and to the point, and you guys seem to enjoy them. So probably do a little bit more of those. I did my first YouTube short last night, and I'd say it's doing pretty well. A lot of you guys seem to enjoy it. If you haven't seen it, it is on the channel. Like YouTube Shorts are like this new thing that they're putting out. Very, very short videos. It's kind of like TikTok, but for YouTube. Which is interesting. Thoughts on Scales and his tribe? I like the Hypnobrai. I think Scales is cool. I think he's a lot better of a leader than Slithera ever was. Where do I live? I live in the grand old state of Wisconsin, where all goes well. If I could be any of the ninja, who would I be? I like Nia's powers, so I'd say maybe Nia, but that's just because I like water as an element. Yeah, Twice from My Hero is definitely based on Deadpool. Why do I not like Nia? I never said I hated Nia. I think Nia is my least favorite ninja just by default, but it doesn't mean that she's a bad character. Like, Nia has a lot going on. In season 15, she's going to be really powerful. I think she's going to be a lot of fun in season 15, so I'm looking forward to that. It's kind of like the same scenario where people used to think that I hated Cole for some reason. No, I don't hate any of the ninja. But one ninja has to be my least favorite, And Nia just so happens to be that character right now. Who would win, Dareth or Spider on a Rock? Definitely Spider on a Rock. Yeah, I'm looking forward to what Nia does in season 15. How do I want Seabound to end? I think it'd be cool if Nia kind of took over and, became like the queen of the sea. I think that'd be awesome. Granted, she probably wouldn't be able to be a ninja anymore if she did that, but I feel like that'd be a really good place to bring her character. It would kind of bring her like full circle to an extent, where she has a role, but it's not being a ninja, I think that's very important for Nia. But I liked Nia as a ninja, so I'm kind of conflicted on that. But again, that's just my own opinion, my own thoughts. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Just what I think should happen. If Nia became Queen of the Sea, I think that'd be awesome. Do I play Fortnite? I do not. Favorite MCU movie? Probably the first Iron Man or Endgame. Do I ship Cole and Jay? Yes. Yes, I do. I think they're awesome. What are my thoughts on Wahira? Or Wajira? Is it Wahira? Wajira? Whatever you want to say. I think that we're going to see a lot more of her in season 15, and hopefully she'll be a better character and actually, be an important one. That'd be fun. So I'm excited to see what she's all about. We just don't really know a whole lot about her right now. Will I do another ranking of the seasons? Yeah, probably after season 15 wraps up, I'll probably do another one. Do I think that Ninjago is a dying theme? No, I think Ninjago is one of LEGO's strongest themes. If Ninjago's dying, it probably means that LEGO's dying. So, no, I think Ninjago is very much, going strong. Yeah, they could totally do like have Nia be the queen of the sea and still be a ninja. They could totally do that. In my perfect world, though, I'd love to see Nia kind of step away from the team, perhaps. Maybe they could bring in Skylar. in that regard and have her replace Nia. I just think having Nia be the Queen of the Sea, I think that would be very good for her character. And that doesn't mean that Nia, won't be in the show anymore. Maybe she'll visit from time to time. It's just throwing out ideas, not saying anything would happen specifically. Just my own thoughts and ideas. My own opinion, if you will. I don't think Season 15 will be occurring in a new realm. I think they're just going to be going straight to the bottom of Ninjago's oceans. Doing stuff from there. You don't want Nia to leave. Yeah, I'm not saying that she's going to leave. I'm not saying that that's a confirmed thing. I just think that that'd be good for a character. Obviously, you guys are free to disagree. I'm not saying that you guys have to agree with my opinion. No, I'm not saying that. Season 2 pictures? Sure. We've already did Season 7, so why don't we do Season 2 for a little bit, and we'll see what happens. The bottom of the Endless Sea. I'm excited to see what's going on down there. I put up a video earlier today talking about like a new group of people that's probably going to be living down there, so I'd recommend checking that out if you want to hear a little bit more information regarding Season 15. If anybody else joined the Ninja team aside from Skylar, I think Nelson could join the team and be the new Wind Master. I think that'd be awesome. Do pilot pictures? We'll probably switch over to the pilots here in a little bit, and then that's what we will use to round out the stream. So, I'll write that down. Favorite figure? I gotta say, one of my favorite Ninjago figures is the original Golden Lloyd. When am I planning on releasing the hot takes video? Gonna be filming that later today. So that reminds me, if you guys haven't seen my community tab as of late, I put up a post asking you guys to drop a couple of Ninjago hot takes down below in the comments, and I would be picking a couple of those to cover in a video. I'm going to be shooting that later today, so if you haven't seen it just yet, or if you haven't, posted your hot take in that comment section, I'd recommend checking it out because you have a chance to appear in a video. So, yeah, we're going to be shooting that later today, probably releasing it tomorrow or the next day. Depends on how this schedule goes. So, what's a hot take? A hot take is something that you think about Ninjago that probably isn't like the common opinion, like an unpopular opinion to an extent, like something that you think is like absolutely right, but not a lot of other people might agree with, just like a very strong opinion that you have about Ninjago. A hot take, if you will. Will Ninjago end in 2031? I'm not sure when Ninjago is going to end. There's been rumors that, 2031 is going to be continuing Ninjago. I don't know about that. I will be 31 years old when that happens. I'll probably still be doing this. Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. It's me. I just celebrated my 31st birthday. Shade and Skylar are a great couple. I think they'd work. I think they'd work out. Yeah, Nia's a cool character. I don't have an issue with Nia. I think Nia's a fantastic character. However, she's just my least favorite by default, just because I like the other ninja more. So, that's basically all I have to say regarding that. Doesn't mean I hate Nia. Next at 199, the return of Buff Zane. They need Buff Zane in the show, man. Make a big fig of Buff Zane. That would be amazing. Will I do a face reveal? I've done face reveals before, like my face is out there if you look hard enough, I guess, but in terms of update stuff, I'll probably do it once we hit 100K. I'll probably sit down in front of the camera and be like, hey guys, I've made a severe lapse in my judgment, or something. So, you can probably expect it at 100K. I'll probably do something like that. Yeah, I think if Nia improves in Season 15, I'll probably put her above Kai, and then Kai would be my least favorite ninja. But again, that doesn't mean that I would hate Kai, just means I like the